What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Blythe. I'm gardening in Zone 8A in Eastern Georgia. Sorry about my voice. I'm coming down with something I think my husband currently has, but feeling pretty good, and baby's napping, so I'm ready to get out here and get some things done in the garden. So off camera, I just wanted to tell you guys I ended up thinning a lot of my seedlings out, like the sunflowers, the zinnias, some flowers and things like that. So I got that done. Today is really exciting because we are going to be pruning tomatoes and putting up the trellising system. So again, I don't know what it's called. I'm going to do some research. I'll probably have it in the title of this video, but basically it's just like putting a string onto a support and then anchoring it down next to the tomato and then wrapping the tomato around. And I've already done some. I'll show you guys that footage now. I have a couple done. We're gonna get them all done. This is gonna be kind of like vlog style, but it is, you know, gonna be how to do the trellising system and how to prune tomatoes. So I've already pruned the first 3 tomatoes here, and I already have the trellis done for those as well. So basically what I did is I just tied it up to the support of this bar for the tunnel, and then brought it all the way down, and I took it and wrapped it around a landscape staple. I don't know if you guys can really see that. Landscape staple. Wrapped it around and then kind of like loosely held onto it while I hammered the landscape staple into the ground so that it would be really, really tight and taut. And then after I pruned the tomato, I just took the string and the tomato and just kind of like wrapped it around. So let's see, this way is the way it would go. So yeah, and then it is staying straight up, and this is gonna be, you know, it can go all the way up the string, which is really cool. And then the other cool thing is that it's gonna save a lot of space. It already looks really cool. It's basically gonna be like a wall of tomatoes in here. I think it's gonna be great. I kind of was nervous about doing this, but after doing the first one and realizing like how well it's gonna hold these tomatoes up, like I'm super excited. And I might have to come back in with like a second string eventually, but it's really a super easy system to set up, especially if you already have a structure in place. And so real quick, I'm gonna show you guys how I prune tomatoes. I do heavily prune because, as you guys know, I put my tomatoes really close together so I can have a lot of variety, which is just my thing. That's just what I do. So because I put them so close together, I prune them really heavily, or at least I try to keep them pruned really heavily. Sometimes things get away from me, which I've already looked, and there's a couple in the middle that have a couple main stems already. So we'll probably just try to, if I can, I'll try to trellis those in a couple different sections, or prune to 2 leaders. Hang on, let me see what I'm saying. If they have 2 leaders, I'll probably prune with the 2 leaders and then trellis both leaders if I have the space. So yeah, let me get my pruners. And I've just got some little pruners here just because I have to go to work later. And as a massage therapist, I don't think anybody wants me to have tomato fingers at work today. So yeah, let's see, let's go. All right, I'm trying to find a really good example for you guys. So let me set everything up, and then I'll take you along. I also just wanted to mention really quickly that this is how you prune for indeterminate varieties only. If you have determinate tomatoes, you don't want to prune those at all. Okay, so I've got a Black Beauty here. You guys can see it's doing really well. It's got a lot of, let's see this back a little bit. It's got a lot of new growth since we popped it in the ground here. So just to kind of show you, so that's a separate tomato. So just to kind of show you here real quick, I'm going to show you guys how I put the trellis in and then how I prune. So I'm just taking a landscape staple, wrapping the string around twice, and then basically coming to the back of the tomato, if you guys can see this, pushing it down in, and then taking my hammer, just kind of pull this forward, and kind of loosely holding on to this so that it can like expand, but then just tapping that all the way down into the ground, and then I'll take the end here and just tie it onto the rest of the string. So it's pretty taut. And then let me show you how to prune real quick, and then I'll show you how I wrap it around the string. So for tomatoes, they get these little suckers in the armpits. This is kind of a small example of one. I don't know if you guys can see that. That will turn into basically a whole nother leader. And then it will have leaves, suckers off that, fruit, all the things. So for tomatoes, if you want to prune them to where they don't take up a lot of room, you're going to want to take off all those suckers and just have one main leader. So you don't want any other leaders, you just want one main leader. So what you want to do for pruning tomatoes, and you're probably going to have to do this like every other week for the entirety of summer, because tomatoes just grow that fast. But basically what you're going to want to do is just take your tool, go into the elbow, so you've got main stem here, leaf here, and then this right here is a sucker. Just snip that right off. And if you have a big enough sucker, you can actually stick this down into water, and it'll grow roots, and you'll have an entirely new Black Beauty plant. Just again, another example real quick for you guys. Let me do a close up. Okay, so a quick example for you guys. Let's see, move that out of the way. So right here, you've got the main stem going up. Then you have a leaf, sun leaf, coming off the main leader here. And then this right here is the sucker. So you're just gonna snipe that right off. Another thing you're gonna wanna do for pruning that's gonna extend the life of your plant is take off any of the lower branches that are touching the ground. So I've got quite a few here, and yeah, I'm just gonna basically snip those off. And you can see here that like this one's like kind of touching the ground. That one's not that big of a deal, and you don't want to prune it too much. You want to make sure that you have a good set of leaves, and since these are still young, you don't want to prune off too much of them at the beginning, but once they start growing up and getting a lot bigger and a lot more growth at the top, you can just cut off anything that's touching the ground. So that was pretty much it for this one. Not too much pruning needed, but I want to stay on top of it, so just pulling out a few more suckers. You can also just, these tiny little suckers, you can just pinch off with your fingers, and then just show you guys how I'm wrapping it around the string here. Basically super easy, just kind of like grab the leaves as they go, put them around so that it stays in place. Done. Isn't that like so easy and like convenient? So all I have to do when I come out here next is just prune and like twist the top around. Like that's so crazy, and like it's taut enough to where it's gonna hold it up, but like it still has some give so that when, you know, the stem gets bigger, it'll be able to keep up with that too. So I'm really hoping, I've never done this before, but I'm really hoping that this method works, because if so, I'm probably gonna be doing this for the rest of the time. I used to trellis on cattle panels, but I ended up wanting to use them for other things because they are so sturdy. They can hold up, you know, like big squash, pumpkin, watermelon, that kind of stuff. So I think this is really gonna work out. Y'all, gardening just gets better and better every single year. Like, I'm so proud. I'm so happy. Like, this is gonna look so good. If you guys don't follow me on TikTok, please go check out my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm gonna do a quick pruning and trellising video for there, and then I'm gonna time-lapse getting all of these tomatoes trellised and pruned up. it turned out amazing. I'm loving the structure. This is gonna be awesome. I love it. I think it's gonna be so great. Just like walk in here with like tomatoes on either side of me. It's gonna be so fun. It is so hot and humid out here today, but we got it done and everything is looking really good. There's a couple of dragonflies that got stuck in here while I was working, but they'll find their way out. But that's going to be it for today's video. So I hope you guys learned some things, and I will definitely keep you updated on how the trellising system does. If you have any questions about pruning or anything like that, please let me know down below. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.